Peep the Magician is wishing everyone who likes this video and subscribes good luck. I used to turtle up when I was really mad. I told my kids that I've traveled around the sun 43 times, then watched their minds melt as they struggled to picture the same dad who can barely parallel park at the helm of a ducking rocket ship. My entire personality comes from the fact that, at a very young age, a person of authority told me that the more books I read, the more free pizza I'd get. When my son was 4, he saw a commercial that said brushing alone is not enough to prevent cavities and tooth decay, so he made us start brushing our teeth with him. It's been 3 years. Nobody tell him. You all wanna go on helicopter ride? We may get donuts too. I don't know, might end up like Lebron. That was rude, my bad. I told my 7-year-old that I'm 38 and she started crying. When I asked why, she said, I'm just sad because old people die. So now I'm both touched because she loves me so much and depressed because she obviously thinks my life expectancy is that of a 17th century colonial farmer. When I was a kid I thought having glasses would be cool, so to ensure I would need them for the rest of my life I used to stare into the sun during recess. Now my prescription is right -3.25. Left -3.50. My toddler squeezed a bottle of powdered creamer until it exploded in her face. Now creamer is continuously draining out of her nose. He's stuck under the kitchen table. Do you ever personify objects and feel bad for them? Like, for example, I have 2 watches. Whenever I wear one over another, I get worried that what if the other watch feels sad that I didn't pick it? Am I okay? Do I need to get a therapist, lol? Yes. One time, back in 1st grade, my teacher told us to color an apple, cut out the color of our favorite flavor. Red for Red Delicious, green for Granny Smith, and yellow for Golden Delicious. So I colored mine all 3 colors cause I didn't want to choose one flavor and have the other flavors feel bad. When I was 11 I found a porn VHS in my dad's room. I put it in the VHS player when nobody was home and watched it while eating blueberry Pop-Tarts. The Pop-Tarts gave me a stomachache and I immediately assumed I was impregnated through the TV by watching porn. I spent a few weeks trying to figure out how to tell my parents, as well as coming up with baby names and worryingly rubbing my stomach in the shower. I'm male, by the way. You got me there. When I was a kid, I used to think that ants were like medics of insects and carry them to hospital or something. So today's off to a great start. One of my kids and another from a different class got into a fist fight. Also a kid from another room asked if I knew the Imagine Dragons show. I was like, no. Then he proceeded to say, imagine me dragging my nuts across your face. What the duck? Gross. He promptly was asked to leave the room with a write-up. Tuesday is trash. I'm done. Wow. I'm going to steal that one though. I thought you would enjoy that. When I was younger, and I used to wake up my dad by manually opening his eyes. 4-year-old. What happens when you die? Me. You go to heaven. 4. No. I mean when you die. Do I get your stuff? I will not breathe until Mr. Beast comments on this vid. According to kindergarten me, a turkey cooks at 6 degrees. How to cook a turkey. 1. First you get a turkey that weighs 8 pounds. 2. Next you stuff the turkey with stuffing. It is made of cheese, apples, and cherries. 3. Then you heat the oven to 6 degrees. 4. Cover the turkey with melted cheddar cheese to help it taste good. 5. Be sure to cook the turkey for 10 hours. 6. When your turkey is finished it will be nice and black. Enjoy your turkey. When I was very young, I cut a small picture of Bugs Bunny because I loved him. I kept it on me and occasionally kissed him because I wanted to marry him, but then I felt guilty since I shouldn't be kissing boys, so I ate it. Kids are. Wait a minute. Daddy cried on his second day of kindergarten cause he didn't know he had to do it every day. Bro thought it was one and done. The way my daughter locked up her brand new bike. 3. Mia is thinking of a number. Her number is half of 20. A. What is Mia's number? 10. B. How did you work this out? My mommy told me. When I was young, I learned about how splitting atoms result in giant bombs. I then learned everything is made from atoms. So I thought, when my mom sliced some fruit with a knife she was splitting atoms, and I always thought we would die LMAO. This is why you don't mess with beanbags. 2-year-old put crayons in the dishwasher. There's no coming back from that. It makes 1 hour that they're looking for their car keys that their kid buried inside the sand. What's the dumbest beliefs you had as a child? When I was 4 to 5 I swore that bad seeds grew birds, thus the name. When my parents asked me to prove it to them, I planted a pile of bird seeds. The next day there were loads of birds where I planted the seeds, showing I was right. I wondered why my parents still objected to this idea after I proved it worked, so I thought they were hiding this secret from me because they were worried I'd grow a massive flock of birds and they'd not be able to tell me what to do. When I was a kid I thought banks have unlimited money for people. When I saw someone poor I just thought, why he doesn't get some money in the bank? And thought jobs were just to have fun. Goddamn. We don't do that here. We were playing hide and seek. Things I fished out of my subwoofer today. Me. OMG, what the hell? Child. The news said it's more sanitary to sneeze into an elbow. Me. They mean your own elbow. When I was a kid, I was walking in the park with my parents. My dad turned to me, pointing at a tree, and asked, "So, what do trees eat?" Hoping to teach me about photosynthesis. He expected me to answer, sunlight. Instead, I said, pigeons. Trees eat pigeons. Unity and Peace Community School is 1. 3-year-old. I want a banana. Me. Gives a banana. 3-year-old. No. Me. So no banana. 3-year-old. Banana. Me. You want this banana? 3-year-old. No. Me. Well, what do you want? 3-year-old. Crying. I don't know. Well, we are making progress. My mom's class's response when asked what city they were born in. Type the name of the city you were born in. Hospital. USA. Alabama. Anderson. Tokyo. Indianapolis. Indiana. When I was young I thought my mom and dad were siblings. I'd go to my older brother and tell him how I'll get married to him and what I want our house to look like. I'd babble about having 100 plus kids in the house to be filled with Barbie dolls. My niece wanted to play hide and seek. He asked me to pick what hand had this sock. I fart when I get nervous. My 10-year-old son was angry at me for taking his Xbox away from him for misbehaving. So he sent a text from my phone to my neighbor that said I fart when I get nervous. My neighbor never responded. My wife's journal from when she was 11. Ian is her brother. Monday, February 25th, 2008, 9:24 p.m. My eyelashes. Ian's eyebrows/eyelash. Mom's eyebrows. Wife's 4th day teaching 3rd grade. I just had a kid click the desk and say it needs more pepper. Do you have any? Well, do you? No lol. That's one thing that you didn't expect to need to stock in your classroom. Haha yeah. 5. Daddy, can I tell you a secret? Me. Sure thing buddy. 5. Grabs my face and whispers, I just pooped and I didn't wash my hands. My 2-year-old made Mickey Mouse. I have 3 older sisters. Up until about the age of 8 I had fully accepted I'd be getting my period once I hit puberty. It wasn't until I was in 4th grade and we learned about the reproductive system that it dawned on me that I would, in fact, not bleed out of my pens once a month. When I told them this, they doubled down so hard that I hid under the kitchen table until my mom got home, terrified. Toddler just drew on my MacBook. When I was in 7th grade, I remember my social studies teacher told me to write about the Cold War. I don't know if I misheard her, confused it with something else, or was just being an idiot, but I wrote about the Cola Wars, Coke versus Pepsi. Believe it or not, they actually accepted it. Some kid at a mall called this Minecraft Luigi. I had put my 2-year-old daughter to bed one night and started playing some Madden on the PS2. About 10 minutes later, she comes out with her blanket draped over her head like a ghost and sits down next to me, not saying a word. I'm trying not to laugh and just keep playing for a couple minutes. Then I said out loud, I need to go check on her. She hops up, turns around without looking, and walks face first into the wall. Stumbled back a couple steps, lifted the front up to see, and scurried back to bed. I was crying, I was laughing so hard, lol. 3-year-old. I spy with my little eye something that is leafy. Me. Is it a leaf? 3-year-old. Good job, dad. My toddler is pissed off right now cause I wouldn't let him into the deep freezer. My cousin kid was 3 and we went bowling. He won then this exchange happened. Us. You won. Him. No. I'm 3. No amount of explaining helped him be any less offended with the suggestion he was only 1 year old. Deal with it. I was just at Walmart and I heard a chick going crazy because another girl was with her boyfriend. They got into a rage fight in the aisle and she ended up crying. By the way, they were 8 and the other girl was his sister. It's the guy from Fortnite. My 6-year-old made this about her 23-year-old teacher. The teacher from the Black Lagoon. Draw a picture of what you thought your teacher was going to look like in the box. Then finish the sentence on the lines. I thought my teacher was going to be younger. How cute this little eats pizza. When I was 13, I still didn't exactly know what Virgin City meant, so I asked my friend and said it was a type of pasta, saying it was another name for penny. It was clearly new. He was just being sarcastic, and me being a gullible kid I believed him. A day later, I innocently asked all my classmates if they liked Virgin City. Obviously, they said no, so I went, what? Virgin City is the most famous type of pasta there is. And everyone started laughing in my face while I stood there with utter confusion. When my nephew was about 5 or 6, he rang me to excitedly tell me he'd lost his first tooth. After discussing the tooth fairy there was a long pause and he inquiringly said, "Auntie, are you dizzy?" I said, "No, why?" And he responded, "Because I'm spinning the phone around." When my daughter was 2 she was convinced we had no baby pictures of her. They were all pictures of a baby named you, because whenever she would ask us who the baby was we would say, "That's you." Me as a kid learning not to mess with pelicans. To this day my favorite photo. 10. Mom, what's a metaphor? Me. My life is a train wreck. 10. I know, Mom. But what is a metaphor? I feel offended. This little kid came up to me and asked me, "Mister, do you have a baby in your tummy?" Children's horseplay found that at my grocery store. What did my dad just say to me? I was listening to my iPod, so I couldn't hear him. Wait, this isn't Minecraft aim, but you freaking kid. Seeing a comic on r/funny reminded me of this brilliant decision my son made. He really wanted a minion, I guess. I used to think push-up bras were sports bra specially made for push-ups. Wrote this about my dad when I was mad at him when I was 6. He soon found it and has kept it in a drawer at work to laugh at for the last 23 years. Daddy, you're a big pain. I used to read WikiHow articles on how to trick people into thinking you're a mermaid. I wrote a mermaid diary about my mermaid adventures and left it in the school library for people to find. Then when some girls read it, I said, that's nothing. It's just a story. Yeah, it's just a story. I was 13. You just mermaid my day. When I was a child I got bored. So my dad said, go draw on my computer, referring to Microsoft Paint. I grabbed some pens and went to town. Thug life. So basically, my grandmother has two phones, one for playing games and other one for calls, messages, etc. My grandmother lends my younger bro, 8, her gaming phone, and he has the freedom to download whatever games he wants. One day, he deleted one of my grandmother's favorite games, so she told me to reinstall for her. Here is what I saw in the Play Store search bar. Among Us mod. Meek Woman game. FNF mod. Shall I be worried or tell anyone about it? 6-year-old to her crying brother. It's okay to be sad. Sometimes we need to let our feelings out. Just let yourself be sad. Me. Oh darling. That's so lovely. Well done. Why is he crying? 6-year-old. I hit him. Had to gently but quickly correct my son after he informed me that people yell hole when playing golf. Thanks goodness I got to him before we took him to play golf. When I was a kid, my cousin told me that there was a sniper in the building across my bedroom, so later that night, when we were in the living room, my mom told me to go get ready for bed and I just went in the hallway and cried because I thought the sniper would kill me. I prefer to be called a hacker. Can't figure out how to work a flashlight. I, 7-year-old, once waved at a teacher to have them come help me with something difficult I was doing. When they were on their way over to my table I suddenly realized that I urgently had to pee, and for some reason I did not want to tell my teacher. So I was frantically trying to come up with something easy to ask them so they would leave quickly. I ended up asking them how to spell my own name, something I was very much capable of doing. They looked a bit concerned at me as I said thanks and ran away. Getting woken up at 3 AM by a screaming toddler who had a nightmare, only to be told that I smelled like old food and have to sleep on the floor in her room, is not how I expected this weekend to start. My little sister, 4-year-old, just asked me to be her girlfriend. I was confused. I ask her why. She doesn't tell me, but keep insisting that I should date her. Eventually she told me that because it means that we love each other. It's kinda cute, but definitely the wrong idea. When I was really young my sister told me doctors performed ablations, but sticking a shotgun up the lady's bed. Ah yes, the good old shotgun to the ace trick. When I was a kid my younger brother came into the room with a pained look on his face and teary eyes. I asked him what happened, and he said he sprayed air freshener on his butthole so his farts wouldn't smell, but all it did was burn. I was sitting on a bench near a park, smoking a cigarette, until some random kid came up to me, asking if I was a dragon. I then asked him why he asked me that. Then he said, "You were blowing smoke, which is from fire." I love children. I remember that when I was in 5th grade I really liked geography. One day I watched a history video about World War II. Next day I got bored in school and started drawing the Nazist flag. I didn't know the exact what Nazism mean. I thought that was just the Germany flag. One of my teachers saw it. She lectured me and threw it away. I thought that what she did was very mean, but now I realize that she was very friendly for not sending me to the principal's office. LMAO. Mom asks, "Put the pasta in the pot." Sister puts it in. Mom comes back and sees the pasta burning. Sister gets a growling and she reckons you didn't say put water in it. When I was a kid in the halcyon days of year 2000 there was this new line of ketchup called Heinz Easy Sweat that came in green and purple. I would constantly see ads for it on TV and begged my mom to buy me some. After weeks of pestering, she caved and got us a bottle of the green stuff. Later that day we had hot dogs for dinner. I'm excited to try out this amazing new condiment, and the moment I see that green slime on my hot dog I'm absolutely revolted and refuse to eat it. Mom threw out the ketchup the next day. I used to work at a daycare and 2 5-year-olds brought this to me one day. When I asked what it was, it's a rainbow shark. But we forgot to draw his fin. When I was 3 I thought I was born at the age of 3 and I was actually a robot. I'm a kid. This is not okay. I'm literally 10 years old. This is not appropriate for a 10-year-old kid. Why does YouTube ads show me this? I'm 10 years old, meaning I'm kid. Has just informed me that she will be staying up all night Christmas Eve. Not to see Santa, because that would make sense, but so she can give all of Santa's reindeer a checkup to make sure they are not hurt and are well enough to continue flying to everyone's house to help Santa. I love this kid. When your 10-year-old thinks the cupboard doors are for swinging. When I was a kid and my parents first took me to a restaurant, they told me to pick a lobster, but I had no idea I was in a restaurant. So when they brought the cooked lobster I cried so damn loud because I thought it was going to be my pet and not my meal. Just my son casually ripping his sister's hair out. Just when I think my brother can't get more random. Dear Santa, my name Kellen and I'm 3 years old. This year I've been good. Something good I did this year was eat like pizza. I would like to give away. This year I might like to receive. I like to cook. My Christmas wish this year is hop. I also have a question for you. Cookie butter? With love and gratitude. Kellen. So I took Ellie to the eye doctor for a back to school checkup. This was one of the graphics our eye doctor uses for kiddos that can't read yet. She sat there in silence for what seemed like ages. Finally she blurts out, "Beep." 3-year-old brother washed his sandwich because he dropped it on the ground. I'm letting it dry. My cousin once bought an expensive doll to gift to her younger sister. However, when my cousin gave it to her younger sister, she refused to play with it because the doll's skin color was black and that it was ugly. To this day, the doll remains unopened and is gathering dust on a shelf. When I was little there was a show that I really liked. Can't remember what it was called, and I wanted the characters to come visit me, so I set up my dollhouse with little broken pieces of food on the table and water in the bathtub, hoping that the characters would come and through a hole in my ceiling. They never came. Ants did though. Ants everywhere. When I was 7 to 8 I was reading a tech catalog, weirdly one of my favorite pastimes, and I saw a flat screen TV for sale for 500 South African rand, around $30 per month. Knowing that flat screen TVs were super expensive, I excitedly phoned my grandma and told her that I could buy her a TV with my savings, not noticing the per month part. She played along until my mom found me and told me what's what. My 6-year-old daughter drew a peacock feather on the window. 2 kids hiding in a dumpster got scooped up by a garbage truck. Milo meanwhile is so in love with the supermarket that we have to take him every day. He even named his stuffed animal dog Supermarket. One time at a family gathering, when I was 6, my aunts and uncles kept saying how you're gonna look just like your dad when you grow up, and I started crying, saying no, I don't wanna look like my dad, I wanna look like me. This was funny to everyone but me. I was having a crisis. 2 days ago my little brother took my mom's phone and changed her WhatsApp profile picture to a love heart. Then he changed her WhatsApp name on my dad's phone to my girlfriend. Thankfully my dad was using WhatsApp web and he caught him before trying to prank our mom. When I was in middle school I thought that Greek mythology was from Italy and Roman mythology was from Greece. I have no idea why my brain decided to flip the two. The youngest of my cousins is 6, and she thinks height works in conjunction with age. Today I showed my cousin a picture of my sister who she has never met as my sister studies abroad. I tell her this is my older sister. She's older than you? Yep. She's 22. Oh my god, she must be massive. My daughter. Suddenly plotless. After I asked her why she wasn't wearing a shirt. I can't do the monkey bars because they're slippery. Do not knock. I have the brain of a dog. I will bark. It will be chaos. 4-year-old has been getting good with drawing. This is how I spelled Australia when I was in 1st grade. New York. Australia. He was questioning me hard on why I told him. Absolutely not. When I was like 5, my parents took me to Disney World. I did fine. My brother on the other hand couldn't go on the rides, so instead he was obsessed with the garbage cans. He was fascinated, and we couldn't drag him away from the garbage cans. He thought they were delightful, and they were like a ride to him. A representation of my most costly childhood mistake. I believed that a laser pointer, or very intense light source, would act like laser eye surgery, and thus improve my eyesight. It didn't work. When your toddler finds your remote. When I was a kid, I decided to play baseball using a basketball. I was the one and only batter. The bat bounced off ball and cracked me across the face, leaving a nice bruise, and questions about whether or not my parents were hitting me by my teacher the next day. We had a kid who started singing, "Kid Dicks, Kid Dicks, come on and play with Kid Dicks" to the tune of Kid Dicks. Amazingly hilarious to our 6th grade minds. He got suspended. What the actual duck? Tear here to remove top. Resealable. Playing hide and seek with a toddler is always a thrill. When I was like 7, I thought I could talk to the news anchors on TV. So for the next few weeks I waited until the news came on and began waving and saying hello over and over again, and was disappointed that they never responded. I worked at a summer camp with kids who were around 5 to 6 years old. I have lots of freckles, especially on my arms. 3 of the kids in my group were fascinated with my freckles and were trying to figure out how I'd gotten them. Suddenly, one of the kids gave me a really scared look and asked me if freckles came from bee stings. This poor kid thought I'd been stung by hundreds of bees, and that's why I had so many freckles. When I was about 6 to 7, I thought that the First Lady was the first lady to exist in the entire world. By the way, I knew that Michelle was younger than my grandparents at the same time. My 4-year-old nephew just walked up to me and told me one of his shirts would fit me because, and I quote, "It'll fit you. It weighs 4 miles." When I was younger, around 10 or so, I got myself a bowl of chips. While I was heading to sit down, I dropped the bowl and all my chips got full of dog hair. I picked them all up and realized I couldn't eat them in this state. So in a wave of genius I washed the bowl of chips and drained it. But then my chips were soggy, so I microwaved them. I may not have been the smartest, but it was still good. When I was at the age of 4, came to know that girls don't have pens. After a few days I saw Pinocchio on TV and deduced because I lie sometime that's why I have this abnormality. Yeah, I was dumb. My niece noticed that the homeless person outside M&S wasn't there today like they usually are. She said they probably got rich. My 3-year-old daughter, ladies and gentlemen, just ate a puzzle piece. Wait, what? She ate a ripped puzzle piece. I heard her almost throw up, and then she swallowed it all, puzzle piece included. Until I was about 8, I was literally scared of the Wii menu theme, not Me Channel, Wii menu. I don't know why, I just was. Now whenever I hear it, it's nostalgic, although I don't really hear it much anymore as I barely play my Wii, and when I do, I normally have my TV muted. So I rewatched Spider-Man 2002 the other day, and there's a part where they go to a Macy Gray concert. Being a child, When I first saw that, I got it confused with the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So for much longer than I care to say, I always referred to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade as the Macy Gray Day Parade. When I was a kid I thought the watermarks on ceiling tiles were coffee stains, and that construction workers were very clumsy with their morning coffee. I was a little confused as to why the tiles next to each other would have one stain over both of them, and assumed they must lay out the tiles on the ground being installing them, then spill their coffees, and then install them in the same pattern, because it would match better. I thought way too much about this, and still got it so wrong. I had a classmate a few years in 2nd grade that thought he was taller than me because he thought you include your hair to your height. When he found out he cried. My friend's 7-year-old little sister named Emily made 3 profiles for herself, naming one of them Ugly Roach for some reason. Who's watching? Who won? Emily Anime. Jenny. Ugly Roach / Emily was here. Emily. I guess my daughter thinks we are all nutheads. Harvey. He wanted to dry off. 5-year-old niece did this to my Newton's cradle. Just got my kids to eat all of their carrots using this not so clever disguise. When I was a kid I wanted to know if my mom pooped, so every time she went to the bathroom I asked her what she was doing. She always answered peeing. For years I thought my theory that she didn't poop was correct. So there was this one creative world I had in Minecraft that was pretty good when I was 7, and I was watching a lot of mod videos at that time and aware that they were mods. I then proceeded to go that specific world and look for some Minecraft city. I spent days looking for it until I eventually gave up. My friend made this ages ago. You can never look at someone with respect who took something away from you. Very bra moment. Tucker tried to eat a leaf and I wouldn't let him, so he had a meltdown. When I was younger, I used to think people got to choose their middle names. So when I would hear kids saying my middle name is Anna, John, etc., I would go around and tell people my middle name was Chocolate. Fishes needs water. So when I was like 8 or 9 years old I thought rave was a bad word because my mom heard a movie say it and then I said it and she told me not to say it, so I thought for the longest time rave was a bad word. My little sister found 1,000 Vietnamese dong bill right. She thinks it's worth something. It's worth $0.044.